Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Hopefully you're having a good day despite what's going on with the Tesla stock price. We'll touch on that shortly. Quick thank you to my newest patrons, Rick, Kamidi, Dan, Kurt, and Robert. Greatly appreciate your support. I am going to post my buy and sell alerts over on Patreon. I did that last week for 2 investments and one of them is up 15% in a few days. Just saying. But first up today, we have to touch on what's going on with Tesla stock, and is Elon selling? Is that what's causing this move? Well, I'm just gonna say it, nobody knows for sure, but there are some things we need to look at. As you can see, Tesla stock down 11.5% right now at time of recording, trading at $1,027 per share. So is this because Elon is selling? I'll say it's possible, but the truth is nobody knows for sure, and we probably won't get any clarity unless Elon tweets about it until Thursday of this week. Why is that? Well, if you take a look at the SEC rules for insider transactions, Form 4 is what we're going to be looking for here. This is what we talked about yesterday when Kimball Musk sold his shares. In most cases, when an insider executes a transaction, he or she must file a Form 4. With this filing, the public is made aware of the insider's various transactions in company securities, including the amount purchased or sold and the price per share. Form 4 must be filed within 2 business days following the transaction date. Transactions in a company's common stock, as well as derivative securities like options, warrants, and convertible securities, are reported on the form. Each transaction is coded to indicate the nature of the transaction. So if this movement is from Elon, that means 2 business days takes us to this Thursday, and the filing deadline is 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if he did indeed sell some of that stock today, we should get this form filed by this coming Thursday at 5:30 p.m. And just FYI, I'll include a link to this page in the description below. You can search for any stock in this box up here. When it comes up, click on SEC filings on the left, and then you'll have a list of all of the SEC filings. But moving on from that, for now, we get this tweet that some users are now getting the email, autopilot camera upgrade is now available. As an owner with FSD capability and early production cameras, you are now eligible for complimentary autopilot camera upgrades. These replacements are required to access a continuously expanding suite of FSD capability features. To do this, you just schedule a service appointment. And I'll include this link below as well, but this is more information directly from Tesla on these camera replacements. They've since updated their blog. If you've purchased FSD and have early production cameras on a Model S or X, built prior to September 2017, you are eligible to receive these complimentary camera replacements. Only the early production cameras will be replaced with cameras of a different type of color sensor. These replacements are not needed on Model 3 vehicles. Tesla is working through supply constraints, and the invitations will be staggered as supply allows. Invitations will be sent first to vehicles with the highest safety scores containing the Intel Atom Infotainment Processors, or MCU2, and then later to those containing Nvidia Tegra processors, or the MCU1. Next up, we get some interesting news on Quebec and a potential deeper partnership with Tesla. So this from the Journal de Montreal. The minister met with execs from Tesla during his mission to California in October, and Quebec's place in Tesla's supply chain was discussed. And they note here there are already Tesla suppliers in Quebec, such as Verbum, more on them momentarily, and according to a government source, discussions between Tesla and Quebec have advanced in recent months. So in case you're wondering who in the world is Verbum, well, they got a $4.8 million grant from the government of Canada and a $6 million loan from the government of Quebec. The 2 levels of government had already given them $7.4 million to install a production line for aluminum auto body parts for the Tesla Model X. And these ties go further, as Tesla already has relationships with Piedmont Lithium, and if you look at it, Piedmont also reported that it is making progress on plans for lithium mining projects in, you got it, Quebec, Canada. Quebec is poised to become an important lithium production center, and Piedmont Lithium is acquiring a significant stake in the province's largest and best located spodumene resource. And the company to keep an eye on would be Nouveau Monde, as they put together this ad over a year ago, but it might be coming to fruition, and it's pretty funny, so check it out.
Dear Elon, my name is Eric, CEO and founder of Nouveau Monde Graphite. I'm writing you this letter to tell you we found millions of tons of graphite, enough to produce trillions of pencils. But these days, who needs that many pencils? What we really need is a change towards cleaner energy and more massive lithium-ion batteries that can drive themselves. We want to partner up with the EV industry to supply our kick-ass graphite to you guys so you can continue the electric revolution. My English isn't perfect, but our product is. So Rick, what does it say?
99.95% pure.
Battery grade, but I guess you expected that. Thanks, Rick.
You got it, Rick.
What you didn't expect is that we are building the first all-electric open-pit mining project in the world. Zero-emission graphite. And the best part? We're located in Quebec, Canada. Bonjour les voisins. Want to know more? Just give us a call.
And cut. That's a wrap, guys.
He's gonna call. He's gonna call. Hey, good job, guys. Any minute. I'm pretty sure about that. Pretty sure. Eric speaking. Ah, man. Écoute, je t'ai dit de pas m'appeler au bureau. J'attends un appel important, là. Je pensais que c'était lui.
Next up, just a quick warning for all FSD beta testers or anybody else. Just be aware that right now there might not be any detection for birds or other smaller animals. Have a look at this video, it's important to be aware of. Next up, Tom Tharp on Twitter. Congrats to my friend George and his wife Christine. They ran the first 8-second quarter mile in their Tesla Plaid Model S. And if you remember, a few months back, Jay Leno did the 9.24 in the Plaid, but that was a stock vehicle. Now we get the first sub 9-second quarter mile in the Plaid S. This one was stripped down and had some modifications. So this is not the fastest time like of any car, but it is indeed the fastest run for a Tesla. And like I said, getting that first number as an 8 is a big deal, so congrats to these guys. Next up, we get some comments from Tao Lin, Tesla's VP in China. I hope that in the near future, not only can the Tesla models made in China reach nearly 100% localized productivity, it may also be able to witness the Tesla models independently designed and manufactured by the Chinese team driving in China on the highway, referring to a vehicle developed specifically for that Chinese market. Furthermore, the Shanghai R&D and Innovation Center is based on vehicle development, including software, hardware, electronics, materials, power and energy engineering teams. And some people are taking these excerpts like these independently designed and manufactured by the Chinese team, meaning that the $25,000 Tesla is ready or is coming soon, about to be revealed. I definitely would not go that far. I think those are being taken out of context. Now, I'm sure they're working on it. I just wouldn't hold my breath that they're gonna do a big event reveal anytime in the next few weeks. Next up, there's some reporting about a new land purchase that is tying Elon to this land purchase through one of his business associates. But if you look at the actual documents, this was back in July. It's kind of just making its rounds now. However, just so you're aware, an entity called Horse Ranch LLC quietly purchased property earlier this year next to the Tesla Gigafactory. The exact parameters are not immediately clear. The paperwork that was filed reported a 620-acre acquisition, while records at the Travis Central Appraisal District showed a 300-acre transaction. But here you have it. The records list Jared Burkall as the manager for Horse Ranch LLC. Burkall also manages Elon's family office. So is this for the ecological paradise at Giga Texas? Is it for a house for Elon? Nobody knows for sure, just speculation at this point. Next up, we get a pretty interesting report from Influence Map. I've linked this below if you want to check it out. You do have to create an account to actually download the report. But here we're going to take a look at the heart of the report, the top 10 most negative and influential companies when it comes to their carbon policy footprint. So -100 is basically the worst, and 0 would be the best or the least worst, however you want to look at it. So ExxonMobil is basically the worst company when it comes to their carbon policy. This is not just about amount of emissions. It also has to do with each company's stance toward climate policy and their willingness or lack thereof to work toward a brighter, cleaner future. And one notable company on this list, which one would you pick? Toyota at number 3, the only real automaker in the top 10 in terms of the most negative and most poorly influential companies when it comes to carbon policy and their thoughts on the matter. And here we have a simple summary. Influence Map's 2021 Climate Policy Footprint Report identifies the world's most obstructive corporate and industry association holding back Paris Agreement-aligned climate policy. The research highlights the fact that a corporation's influence over policy and regulations may have a far more profound impact on climate change than the physical emissions associated with its operations, suppliers, and products. Influence Map's rankings include analysis of each entity's climate policy positions, the intensity of their policy engagement, and their absolute economic and political clout. The computations and coverage are global, with weightings to recognize regions that are the most significant in terms of their economies and total GHG emissions. This report follows Influence Map's October 2021 A-list report covering the most influential and positive companies driving meaningful and Paris-aligned climate policy, including major brand companies like Unilever, Nestle, IKEA, and you guessed it, Tesla. Moving on, it looks like Cadillac is going to lose even more dealerships in this transition to electric vehicles. General Motors' own brand expects to have only 560 United States dealerships by the end of the year, representing a 40% drop from 3 years ago. In case you're not familiar, these Cadillac dealerships were going to have to spend between $200,000 and $500,000 for this new EV infrastructure on things like training its employees. So far, GM has spent $274 million buying out dealers who are not ready to make the switch. And funny enough, listen to this. Some dealers have expressed concerns their profit margins will decrease if they go all in on electric cars because the service fees tend to be lower. Shifting to autonomy, some fairly big news between Luminar and Nvidia striking a new deal. Luminar announced early Tuesday that Nvidia has selected the LiDAR startup's technology for Nvidia's autonomous driving platform. So look, I know a lot of people in the Tesla community are not that interested in LiDAR because Tesla is not using it, but I'm just gonna say you have to remember basically everybody else is. Okay, so it's just something you have to remember. You have every other automaker, all these other self-driving startups, they're basically all using LiDAR. Tesla really is the only one to be doing it on any scale that's not. So with Luminar's LiDAR technology, Nvidia will now have a complete package for automakers, including the computing hardware and the sensors, as well as software that is being developed by both companies. The Luminar CEO says, the best of the field from a LiDAR standpoint and the best of the field from a compute standpoint are joining forces to win the industry. And Luminar stock, ticker LAZR, has jumped about 16% on the news. And Nvidia actually had some announcements of its own when it comes to its own autonomous driving technology. It's rolling out 3 technologies to support its future self-driving capabilities: Drive Hyperion 8, Drive Chauffeur, and Drive Concierge. Hyperion 8 combines a series of sensors including 12 cameras, 9 radars, 12 ultrasonic sensors, and 1 front-facing LiDAR. The whole setup is meant to be modular so automakers can take and leave what they want. Nvidia's Drive Chauffeur is the company's AI-assisted driving platform. It uses the sensors from the Hyperion 8 and allows vehicles to drive from address to address on their own in both highways and urban environments. And then we have the Drive Concierge, Nvidia's in-car AI assistant. So you'll use your voice to control parts of your car that currently require you to twist knobs or tap touchscreens. But we'll talk a little bit more in depth about Nvidia and its autonomous efforts in an upcoming video. Next up, Geely has announced its own electric truck. So here is a picture. It actually looks pretty cool. The rollout of the vehicle is not expected until 2024. Geely's commercial vehicle group, Farazan Auto, is planning to roll out the new Hom truck, it's called, in international markets as well. The company will target Europe, Korea, Japan, and North America with a new vehicle. There are different power options, including methanol hybrid and pure electric. The Hom truck's batteries can also be swapped out, which cuts down on the need to charge. Taking a page out of the NIO playbook, The interior includes a shower and a toilet, a single bed, refrigerator, kitchen area, and a small washing machine. Pretty interesting. Next up, we get some news on Rivian. So they have a new fleet page on their website, linked below if you'd like to check it out. Goes over some things with their RCV, or the commercial vans. Long story short, it looks like this is going to be available to non-Amazon customers sometime in 2023. And they talk a little bit more about their Fleet OS, or the operating software to manage fleets of these delivery vans. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, when can I take delivery of fleet vehicles? Deliveries of the RCV, the commercial vans, are scheduled to begin in early 2023. In the meantime, fill out our Contact Us form for a consultation call with someone on our fleet sales team. A quick item on Byton, it looks like they are headed toward bankruptcy. Byton, which burst onto the scene with big promises and a lot of hype in 2018, appears headed toward bankruptcy. Byton missed payroll and halted all production processes, according to the report, and a local court began initial bankruptcy proceedings. EVgo is apparently looking to take advantage of this infrastructure spending to make some more progress as it furthers its deal with GM and Uber. EVgo and GM will now team to build 3,250 high-powered DC fast charging stalls by 2025, 500 more than previously announced. EVgo also expanded its discount program for Uber drivers. Drivers who qualify for Uber Pro Gold, Platinum, or Diamond status based on performance metrics will save up to 30% on charging costs over EVgo's standard rates. And a cool note here, as a Pennsylvania resident, EVgo said that it had won several grants from Pennsylvania to build new 350 kilowatt DC fast charging stations. And last thing for today, it looks like the Model Y cargo cover is now going to be standard, coming from Giga Shanghai. Based on a photo shared by EV Offer, the cargo area in the rear trunk now features a ledge for the cover to sit on. Unfortunately, they did not have the cargo cover itself, but said they will be posting a demo of the cover when they receive it. According to EV Offer, the feature is not just for newly built cars. Tesla will reportedly also be offering it as a free retrofit to all existing owners, saying this is possible because it appears it would simply be a replacement of the two panels on either side of the trunk area. So maybe in a few weeks or months, something like this is seen in the United States market. Fingers crossed, it's a nice feature. But that's gonna do it for today. Please take a second to like the video if you did. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.